Well, hey, I have the privilege of being here with Mr. Ron Gither, Regional Manager of the Alabama A-Team. Ron, welcome. And Ron, just, if you wouldn't mind, tell me where you're from and, how did you come to be with Signtronix?
Okay, well, originally I'm from Belleville, Illinois, which is just outside of St. Louis. It's kind of a long story, but I'll try to shorten it for you on how I came into Signtronix. I hired a man named John Marty years ago, working in the sales to the swimming pool company, selling swimming pools in-home. Long story short, the company, after a few years, pulled a corporate bankruptcy, left us all without a job. And I was up in Buffalo, New York at the time. And I thought, I will never, ever work for another company again for as long as I live. I had been self-employed before, so I went back into my own business. And I was doing very well, actually. Every 6 months or so, after about 10 years of doing my business, maybe 12 or so, John Marty started calling me periodically saying, hey, Ron, found this company called Signtronix. You need to check them out. These people are the real deal. I kept saying, John, I'm doing good. I really wasn't working much in my business. I had it pretty much on autopilot for a while there. The only problem I had with my business was turnover. I was only able to offer part-time employment to anybody, so there was a lot of turnover. I owned a DJ company. And the quality of people I was working with that I had to hire wasn't career-motivated people. So anyway, after a few years of John calling me, I finally decided, I'll take a look and see what happens. And I'll look into this Signtronix thing. And I went with John for 3 days in Terre Haute, Indiana. And part of the time we were out trying to sell signs. He showed me how it works. But part of the time we just stopped by to visit customers that he had sold or other customers he had met in Terre Haute before. And I got to see the product and see what it was doing for people. And this was my first time away from my wife. I'd never been away from her overnight. And she was completely against me going on this trip with John. But she knew I had to look at this thing and see what it was. And I came back home, and she said, so you're not going to do this, are you? I said, no, I'm doing it. I said, I'm frustrated with the DJ company. I can't see retiring with it. I couldn't see a future in it, even though I'd done well for 17 years. I wanted something that I could really... I finally found what I wanted to be when I grew up. So I went with John, and I went in training the next week, Monday morning, and trained for a week under Jeff Dean in St. Louis. And then the next, in the middle of training, he said, hey, guys, we're going to take a road trip. We'd like you to come along and really get some field training on this. So I told my wife, going on a road trip next week. She goes, another one? This is the,
she must have loved that.
No, she was completely against it again. So Memorial Day weekend, instead of doing our normal, big parties that we always threw and inviting all these people over, I stayed and studied the whole weekend because I really wanted to make this road trip work. And I went out to the Lake of the Ozarks with the St. Louis Road Runners and Road Warriors, and how quickly we forget. But anyway, we went out and I sold a sign my first day. I sold one my second day. I got 3 credit rejects the third day. Fourth day, I sold another one. I called my wife. It's about 4 and said, hey, honey, I'll be home probably about 8 o'clock tonight. She goes, what time is it where you're at? That's at the same time, so 4 o'clock. She goes, aren't their businesses still open? I go, yeah, but I don't want to be out all night. She said, can't you get a motel room? I said, yeah, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
I come home. But she saw the success I was having.
Yeah.
Because every time I call her, I'd say how much I made.
Yeah.
And she couldn't believe, I was coming home with all this money.
So the quality of the sign products was really just overpowering to you as a first impression of the company.
Right. As soon as I seen the product and seen the presentation that they had, because I didn't have to figure out how to sell these, it was all laid out for me. And that's what I like the most. Mm-hmm. All I had to do was learn this presentation and go do what the company. I told my wife, she said, we have a lot of friends that own businesses. Why don't you just go sell signs to them? I said, well, I'm not going to. I'll run out of friends really quick. I said, I'm going to go out of town, like they said, and do the program like they tell you to do it. Go door to door and just show the product off. And I did that, and it worked. So that's all I've done since then. That's what I enjoy about it.
That's a terrific story. So would you say, what would you say is is your favorite thing about your Signtronix experience so far?
The favorite thing that I love about the company is, and I hate this because I'm going to do it because I've seen you do this a couple times, but it's the people. It's just the people in this company. My wife never understood that because I'd tell her I'd go to a convention or something, a jamboree, and I'd meet these people. And I'd have people like Bob Holland, I'm brand new, and he's like a legend, his name's always up in the top 10.
Yeah.
Which brings me another thing is, I'll stick with the people first.
Yeah.
I'd get calls from Bob Holland or different people from around the country that I thought, why do they even care about me?
They're supporting you.
They're never going to make a dime off of me, but that everybody elevates everybody in this company. My wife never understood that until we came to our first trip, which was my first full year with the company. And then after the trip, she said, now I see what you mean by it's the people. She said, I've never seen such a great group of people, genuine, because she says she hates salespeople, Yeah. She loves me, but she said, I don't want to be on a trip with a bunch of salespeople. But when she met everybody in the company, she realized these aren't your typical, what you think of as, salespeople. These are just really, really good, sincere people in this company. And that's what I love the most.
The willingness to help one another, the healthy competition.
Everybody helping. Since I've become a regional manager, I've had open doors with every other region under other divisions that are just welcoming me in and I can call them anytime and they'll help me out. And, it's just it's truly you hear this stuff, family, open door policy. Where else can you call the president of the company or talk to the CEO one-on-one or just call other people within the company that are competing with you for the number one spot and have them rooting you on and telling them, what's helping them. They're telling me what's helping them be successful. Yeah. And there's no secrets. Everybody's excited to share everything that they've got. And so it's just something I've never seen in my life. I never thought there would be such a thing. Cozy Born has created something that is just... it's a one-of-a-kind thing. I'm glad I'm part of it. I couldn't leave. That's the bad thing, too, is once you're here and you realize the freedom and the potential and the opportunity and then the friendships, there's nowhere else to go. I could never find this anywhere.
Well, Ron, your story is tremendous, and you are certainly just such a rising star in the organization, and what you've been able to accomplish in such a short time is truly commendable. And having you and your family, and particularly, you really is a family event for you. Your son is in the business, and
my other son's coming on board.
So that would be 2 sons, correct?
Right.
Yeah. You seem to think maybe there was something else you wanted to talk about in terms of your favorite thing. So,
well, the neatest thing when I first started, I didn't know the people and everything else that I really liked is everybody in this company. I wanted to be in the top 10 right away. I don't want to be just a floater. I've never wanted to be that guy that's just kind of there. And I've got the same presentation, the same training materials, the same support, the same territory. I've got exactly the same as everybody else in the company. So when I wanted to try to be as good as Bob Holland in the numbers, all I had to do was work harder than Bob Holland. So I just had to get up earlier, stay out later, maybe work an extra day or two in a month, on Saturdays, and I knew I could get up there. And so I knew it was just really about the effort. And then the other thing is, everybody tells you, you hear people, they get a job and they say, well, we're going to promote you based on your ability, not on longevity. And then they get passed up by somebody else that had been there longer that's not doing the job. And here it's truly based on your ability, what you do, consistency. So I could go on, and I'm only allowed 5 minutes. So.
Well, Ron, your story is tremendous, and I want to really thank you, and more so just congratulate you on all your success. And man, it's good to be part of your family.
It's great to be part of it. Great to be a part of this.
Thanks, Ron.